Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you all? So today we are here to have a pep talk about some period myths that we are literally listening, hearing, knowing since the dawn of time. Like, I don't know, like since I have been 26 years of my existence on this earth, and yeah, this is something I've been hearing all the damn time. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. Yeah, let's go. So first things first, number one, I have done my due research on everything as much as I could from internet, okay, and there were some bits I talked about on my Instagram as well. I just wanted to take opinion from all the girls, so I did a few, excuse me, will you? Yeah, see, I just did like a little bit of, how should I say this, polls as well for, you know, me to see what you girls, you ladies think about it. So if you don't follow me on Instagram already, please follow that. I will give all the link in the description box for you to follow me there, because sometimes we talk really important things there. So that is that. So the very first period myth, you know, the myth that actually caused this whole video in first place was, do you think it is safe to take painkillers during the cramps, you know, the period cramps? So this time when I had my periods, it was literally late at night, like 10-11 ish something, and I was very much sure that okay, the cramps will kick in literally late at night when I will be asleep. So yeah, say bye bye to the sleep. So I popped in a painkiller well in advance, you know, so that while I'm sleeping the cramps don't kick in, and thankfully for me they didn't, and I had a good sleep. And next day, as the day passed on, I started to have cramps all over again, so I had to pop in another painkiller. So a question just struck in my mind, like, listen, I took 2 painkillers, and is it safe? Like, what is the tea of it? Like, is it safe to take painkillers? Because I've heard so many women talking about not taking painkillers at all, right? So yeah, that was the thing. Now most of the girls, like 83% of the girls actually said it's a big no-no, and yeah, 17% did agree that you can take. Now yeah, okay, so first of all, my chacha, he's a doctor. So the first time I had cramps and I was having this terrible pain, he was the one who suggested me to take the painkiller which we call as Meftal or Combiflam, whatever you want to take. You know, these are the ones that you take, or even paracetamol. Like, these are the painkillers that you take, which are very mild, and you know, these are the painkillers you usually take, you know, when you have some stomach ache or anything, you know, anything that pains in you, and you take these pills. So a doctor suggested me to take it. It's not from some random person, it actually came from a doctor. Now when I did a few research, I'll pop, you know, all the research pieces over here. When I researched about taking painkiller, there was nothing alarming about taking painkillers in first place. So yeah, thankfully it is safe to take painkillers. Like, you have your periods once a month and you are taking 1 or 2 pills in a month. 1 or 2 pills in a month is a very, very tiny amount. So I don't think in a long term this will cause you an issue, okay? Talking about painkillers that you would take if you would have some upset stomach or some headache or something like that. Like, you would have them in other issues as well, right? So once a month, 1 pill once a month isn't a big deal. So if you are just refraining from taking a painkiller because you thought, oh my god, it's going to do something to me, chill out ladies, it will do nothing. It's safe, okay, it's safe. Yeah, yep. I'm talking about just Meftal and paracetamol. Like, do not pop something OTT and then say, oh, you said it was safe. No, don't do that to me, okay? Yeah, okay. So the second question has to be, is it okay to use tampons and menstrual cups? Now in 2019 I bought 2 menstrual cups, and I just could never fit them in, unfortunately. I started off with the medium size, it didn't fit in. I went in with a small one, I couldn't put it again. I couldn't. It's a task, okay? It's a task. Now, in the poll, the options were, what about the virginity thing? And the second thing is, I do it all the time. So 50% women actually agreed on using menstrual cups, and I have actually heard this from some people around me that they have been using menstrual cups, and menstrual cups are great, good for them. I still haven't been able to getting used to using a menstrual cup. I really want to, but I couldn't, and I think I'll try it again sometime. The second point is, and I think this is the biggest myth when it comes to using tampons and menstrual cups, has to be, oh my god, it is going to mess up my virginity. Now girls, listen, first of all, virginity is in your head, okay? The whole concept of virginity is actually very vague, and it's just based on a hymen that is in you, which some girls are not even born with. Secondly, some girls actually tend to break it while doing sports, athletics, physical activities, gymnastics, and some stuff like that. Thirdly, some girls actually tend to break it via some accidents or something like that. Like, it can happen. So listen, here's the thing. The virginity, the whole concept of virginity is literally in your head, and it has been literally there to, I don't know, how should I say this, like women ko dabane ke liye. So, you know, they just order, process, work just the way men, patriarchy wants them to. So yeah, this is whole for patriarchy. So yeah, if you think this will actually cause an issue by some man, that oh my god, you are not a virgin and this is going to do something to your virginity, don't refrain yourself from doing that. Okay, hymen is not like a full based tissue. It is actually a porous thing and blood seeks through it. So yeah, definitely tampons and menstrual cups will affect it. It might not. I mean, this is nothing sure about it, but I would say if you are just pulling yourself back for this whole virginity thing, don't do that. Don't let shitty men, shitty patriarchy mess with your periods. Okay, don't do that. Third question is, should we talk about it openly in front of men? Now everybody literally just said yeah, it was a yes, a huge yes. And the reason why I actually put out this question was because I remember when we used to be kids, in school times when we were taught about periods, everybody was like, oh my god, you cannot tell men, you cannot tell boys that you're having periods. The pad has to be this chupi hui cheese that nobody can see. I used to feel like an undercover agent that nobody can see the sanitary pad that I have in my bag. Like, no boy ever. But see, the truth of the matter is, boys do know about it, everybody does. And what I exactly feel is that we should actually educate men over this topic as well. See, one day I was reading an article about the worst places to have your first periods, and it was a story about a girl who had her periods in the train, like a long journey train, and she just had her father with her. She didn't tell her father and suffered for literally 8 hours. She couldn't tell her father ki main kya kahun, papa hai, he's a man, how can I tell him that I'm having periods? And she suffered for literally 8 hours. I'm like, girl, he's your father, you can tell him, he knows everything already, come on. So I think the whole point is that we should actually educate men, and we should educate women to talk to men. Like, listen, here's the thing, not every daughter has a mom to talk about these things. So educate men, which is important. Okay, it is very important. Unless you educate men and talk to them, this stigma, this taboo isn't going anywhere. So yeah, it's important. Also, there's this one thing, I just wanted to have like a throwback to my childhood memory. I remember, you know, all these sanitary pad, buying this stuff is the women thing, right? And my mom used to get them when I was a kid, I was in school. And once my mom, she couldn't get them, so she said to dad that you're going to chemist, get the sanitary pads. And I lost my mind. I was like, oh my god, you told papa? Oh my god, our biggest secret is out. I literally lost my shit, and she was like, cool down, he's your dad, it's okay, it doesn't matter, he knows everything, he's your dad, you have to relax. And yeah, that's exactly where I realized that this is just way too much and we should literally let it out. So yeah, do that as well. So yes, you can talk to your dads, you can talk to your boyfriends, you can talk to anybody about this. You don't have to refrain. You can talk to your friends. I do talk to my friends about it, about, you know, not like intentionally, oh yeah, I am having periods. No, if there's something, I do talk to it about it to them. So yeah. The fourth question was, is PMSing real? Now, PMSing, I think let's talk about the science of PMSing first. So PMS is pre-menstrual syndrome, which refers to something happening to you before your menstruation actually happens, right? So, you know, before you actually start to bathe. Basically, in PMS, what really happens is, basically your hormones, more like the ones that actually cause you to be grumpy, cranky, irritated, these type of hormones actually just rise up in your body and they make you feel a certain way, not a good way though, in a bad way. So it doesn't necessarily have to be you being angry, Hulk-ish all the time. You can be emotional, like you can cry for hours. Literally, I did this time. I was so emotional all over the place. So this can happen to anybody. Now, not everybody PMSs, you know, the hormone can vary. For some people it's low, they don't really care about it. For some people it's high in there. For me, sometimes I am all over the place, sometimes it doesn't happen. So yeah, PMSing is very real. It can just vary from women to women, right? So next time anybody tells you that PMSing is not real, it's all in your head, it's psychological, put the science book in their faces, okay, just do that. So these were some myths that I talked about over the Instagram polls. Now there are some that I have in my notebook right here, which were not a poll-ish kind of thing. I just wanted to talk about it like in general. So the first thing has to be your cycle of periods. Like it's not that just bleeding to bleeding, it's cycle of your periods like 3 days, 5 days, no. Your menstruation cycle is literally there all the time, ever since you bleed for the first time. So all the days in between of you bleeding, not bleeding, that is a whole menstrual cycle. From first bleeding to first bleeding, like first bleeding to next bleeding, this is a menstrual cycle. That is how it works. Now, when I was younger, like I'm talking about when I was a teenager, early adult sort of thing, my cycle was like every 28. Actually, it was like more like 26 days to 28 days, like somewhere in between. Like we are always told that it has to be 28 days. But there is no hard and fast rule about it. It can vary from 29 days to 35 days, like anywhere about that, right? So if you are not having your periods literally on the 28th day and you had it on 31st day, it is okay, it's fine, it's normal, it's natural, it's okay to happen. So yeah, don't panic. It's like, oh my god, my period is late, no, it's fine, it's okay. And also another thing, that this is like my personal experience, like as I am growing and I'm getting older, I think my cycle has changed so much. It used to happen on 26th day and now it's like 31st to 32nd day now, and it's like it happens regularly. It's not like ek din 26th pe ho rahi, agli baar 31st pe ho rahi. It's like 31st, 32nd, 30th, it's in this way. So it's regular, touch wood, it's regular, and which means it's fine. It's just something happening according to my age. So do keep that in mind as well, because as you tend to age, you are growing up, things are changing in your body, stuff changes. So there is stuff from old people which is a little bit questionable as well, but we'll talk about it in detail, and I think this is where the whole shit lies. So the basic myth is that women should not cook, right? They should not go out of the home. They are just not meant to enter the temple. They shouldn't be doing much physical activities like dancing, sports, blah 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 blah. Just sit down, don't do anything. So these are like the main myths that are there. Now, my 2 cents upon this whole thing is, and hear me out, what I really have to say is, ancient people back in the days, they were very smart, and they knew things better than we do right now. Everything they used to do, it had more like a scientific thing to it, which over the time, you know, the reason just changed over the time for people, right? So if you have heard this game where people are sitting in a circle, so I say something in other person's ear, and by the time that one particular piece of information goes back in the circle and comes to me, it has just changed completely. That thing, you know, hota na कि भालू ने राम को खा लिया, एंड व्हेन वो मेरे पास वापस आई बात, तो राम ने भालू को खा लिया. That is the thing, that is what I mean. So what I really mean is, as information passes on from generation to generation, the information just changes and it is altered to such a level कि वो कुछ से कुछ हो जाती है. And the reason why I think these information were there at the first place, I had a very scientific reason, but since it came to us, like हम तक आते आते, there was patriarchy, there was women always being suppressed and everything, and it just changed into a complete taboo, into something else that it never was. So the first thing is, you know, to stay at home, don't cook, don't do physical activities and all that stuff. I think the reason why these taboos were made were to just ensure that women take proper rest during this whole time. And the reason was, and here's the thing, you know, the women were asked to stay in a different place. Now, what can be the possible explanation? It's just that when a woman tends to be in front of somebody, you know, it usually happens, like मैं किसी के सामने गई, they're like, oh please पानी लेकर आना, oh please मेरे लिए ये कर दो, please मेरे लिए वो कर दो. This is what I'm talking about ancient times, you know, जब औरतों के लिए सिर्फ एक ही काम होता था, that was घर के काम, and that was men did. Men just left there, asked women to do work. So to make sure no men bothered the women, they just put her in the room, please जाओ ऐश करो, शांति से रहो, take your rest. The most possible explanation to this whole thing is this: to ensure that the woman takes rest, because obviously you are going to have cramps, you are, I don't know, I mean, I don't know about other people, but I really feel that your energy is so low during periods and you feel like fatigue and your legs are paining, your back is paining, your stomach is paining, and it's good to just take rest. So yeah, maybe that is one reason why they were just said to not do anything and just take rest. The most controversial thing has to be women not actually entering the holy places, and this was not because of, oh my god, it's a taboo, you cannot, you're unpure. The actual reason for this was not you being unpure. I'll just link up some you know, the how should I say this, the articles of how people talk about it, and the thing for you to understand. And what I really understood, the crux of it has to be that it is mostly linked to your good energies and your bad energies, and mostly related to spirituality. If you believe in that, you would believe in it. I personally believe in it, and I really feel that this has to be more with women's intake of negative energy and positive energy and all of that stuff. So the most important article was that when a woman is actually menstruating and her energy is just going downwards in the form of blood, it's coming out, all the negativity is pulling out of her. When she enters a temple, the positive energy messes up with that whole flow of negative energy. So that can actually cause a destruction in the menstrual cycle, which is not good. So that is one reason why they never allow you to go into the temple. It is for your own good, you know, just turn into, oh my god, you are unpure, you cannot go in it. So yeah, I think it's just, at the end of the day, it's all about what you think, it's all about what's in your head, and patriarchy will suppress you, that's what it is. So yep, yeah, these were the myths that I found, and I hope I helped you to understand them. I've talked too much. Yeah, so please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll meet you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.